Hello, let's talk about events. Events in Lore Links are meant to represent periods of interaction with your players. This could be a meeting where they meet the king. It could be you could use this to mark a time period where the players are building something out. Maybe it's a downtime series of events and you've got a campaign where they're like, okay, this is where we build the town or build the kingdom. If you're running something like Pathfinder's Kingmaker series or other things like that. It isn't necessarily just an event, just forced to be just event meetings. It can be more than that. So let's go ahead and set up our meeting for this campaign. And again, so we need to have a meeting where this priest-like character shows up and talks to the party. We're doing a very cliche, possibly meet in the tavern type thing. So let's just go ahead and create that out here. So we'll start by creating an event. We can click on this, or we can click down here. We can create a new event. It's going to pop up over here, and we're going to type out, we can either quickly type in some details, or we can type them all in here. It's up to you. We have a larger screen for that, but this is more of a quick get the shell of the idea out of your head. Meeting with the priest. Let's just do that. And I'm just going to save that immediately so I can show you what that looks like. It's going to add it into here in this list. We have templates as well. What templates are for is when I was talking about campaigns, I mentioned custom fields. Or maybe just you have a series of set information you want to include and you don't want to have to retype that over and over and over again. Templates are there to help avoid that repeatedly typing, so you can create a template and have it keep showing up, keep filling in all of that data automatically, so you don't have to keep doing it. We'll talk about more about that when we get to game objects. Go ahead and click on the game objects link if you want to if you want to know more about that. For now, let's focus on the event. So we've created this event, and so now we're taken to the event details screen here. As you can see, we can add an image, much like we did for the campaign. If you have an idea of, I've got this setting in mind where I want this to take place, so maybe a mood image or something like that, you can add that in here. We can give this a short description to help us find it. If you have a large list of events, the short description will appear next to it. And oftentimes when we're linking things together, that short description will appear as well. So let's make that clear. The priest appears battered and bruised and begs the players for their help. Oops, I can spell there. Okay. Maybe we want this to be a little bit shorter, so we'll just call it the priest appears. But maybe we'll put the rest of that in the description here. The priest appears battered and begs the players for their help. Okay. Now, we could also you could have dialogue in here. We could have a series of bullet points of basically things that the priest should mention. Like we want to make sure that they mention location of the temple, importance of the artifact, blessing of the gods. Artifact, I can spell. Yep. Okay. So you can put that all in there. If I click on this preview, I can see what it looks like ahead of time. So I could see the bullet points. If I added in, if I wanted to italicize things just to call them out, I can do that there. And then I can save that either through the save button there, or no matter where I am in the screen, I can always click the save button over here, just so you don't have to scroll all the way down to this save button at the bottom. We do have an archive thing, so if you come up with an idea and you decide to shelve it, or maybe it's happened and you don't want to deal with seeing it in the list anymore, Archive will hide it from the list. It won't delete it. You can delete if you want, but archiving it is a way of keeping these things without having them clutter up your screen with all the stuff that you're going to put into here. Okay, so now that we've created the description, maybe we've got more of a script in here, but we want to link to things that we've talked about in here. So we have this priest that we've talked about, but we really haven't created the priest because we decided to start with events. And that's kind of the problem you can run into as a GM, is you end up in this loop of, well, I need to create this event. Well, that means I need to create this character, which means I need to create this item, which means I need to create this event talking about the item, and it means I need to create the location where the item is stored. And you can end up in this loop where you're constantly kind of coming up with this other thing that you need to build first, and you can't find anywhere to start. Rather than, again, force you to pick a starting location, what we've created is the fact that we have a quick create system that allows you to quickly just create items anywhere from where you are. So if I get to this point in here and I'm like, oh, I need to create the priest character, or at least I want to create a quick shelf so I can link it to it here, I'm going to I can just quickly click on this quick create button located here. And it's going to pop up this list of all of the different, what we call lore in LoreLink, that is available. So if I want to create a character quickly, I can click character. It's going to pop this open here. Game objects are our characters, our villains, our items, our transportations, our monsters, all fall under game object, but we've given them slightly different names so you can organize them better. So you can filter by them a little bit closer. So let's go ahead and call this the priest. And maybe we have an image that we want to throw for them. Let's go with, I think I've got this guy's bruised and tattered. So yeah, let's take the tattered man image. We'll insert that. Last survivor. Temple. We can give more descriptions here or less. Again, we're kind of creating this kind of quickly. We can save that. And now we've created that game object without having to leave our event. So now if we want, we can just associate it here. And we can see, oh, the priest is there. We can associate it. If we get to this point, we realize we haven't created it. We can create it right here. But we can go ahead and associate it. And now this priest is associated with this event. So if we get to this event while we're doing it, we need to look something up about it. Somebody asks, oh, hey, does he have this, or does he have that? Or you want to make a note on the priest about something that happens, like you give him a particular accent or a way of speaking, or maybe you call out a particular scar or bruise, and that comes to you in the moment you want to make a quick note. But you're looking at this event here. You can hop over to the priest just like that, and then you can create a note down here with this quick button right here. Creates a new note, and you can say has a long scar running down his left cheek, because you decided to give that detail and you want to make note of that. Now you can add that there. You could have added it to the description. I've got it now. It's listed in the notes here. I can mark it as secret from the players or not. And then we can go back to the event relatively quickly. Just go back to the event. We can go from there. Now we can create the event. We can also create triggers and other things. So we can say this event triggers another event, which triggers another event. Like if we want to say, we can associate another one. We haven't created it yet. So let's just quick create another event. We'll say ambush at the inn. Attacked by minions. That's a better word for it. Attacked by minions. We can save that. Now we can associate that. Ambush at the inn. Create trigger. And now we've created that. Now we can go from this event to the next event, and we know that these events are linked together. The other thing we can do is We've talked about creating these lists down here. Sometimes you don't want to have to deal with it in lists. Maybe you want a list of things. Maybe you just want it included in your text itself. So we have the ability to quickly reference it. So we could say, after the priest is finished speaking, skeletons bust into the inn, starting, and we want to put the event link to the event here. Now we could go to the page, look it up, and copy and paste the link in here, but that's a lot of work, and we already have all this information in the system. So let's just have the system look it up. So with the @ symbol, events, and then we can say find events, and then we say ambush at the inn, hit enter, and now it's built that link out for me, and now it's already a link that if I click on that link, it's going to take me directly to, if I right click and open a new tab, you can see that takes me to the ambush at the inn event. So that's kind of events in the nutshell. Events are used throughout the systems. You can have locations that basically you can link events to locations. You can have a timeline, basically, which is a series of different events that are organized differently. And you can have basically your sessions that you build out for your players could be a list of events that you intend to happen during that session. So events are used all over the place, and you can link all of them through here. All right. Next, let's go ahead and talk about locations and how we build those out.